Hey, we are going to continue reading Ghost Town at Sundown. We're going to read chapters, where are we? 4 and 5. This is chapter 4, Hands Up. It's the colt, said Annie. He's looking for his mother. She ran toward the wild-eyed little horse. Wait, called Jack. Oh, brother. He pulled the book out of his pack. He found a chapter titled Horses of the Wild West. He started reading. At the end of the 1800s, over 1 million wild horses called mustangs wandered the West. These tough, fast horses were descendants of runaway Spanish horses. Mustang herders captured them and sold them to ranchers. Breaking a wild mustang took great skill. Jack turned the page. There was a picture of a herd of horses. 2 of them even looked like the beautiful mare and her colt. Hey, Annie, Jack called. You should see this picture. Annie didn't answer. Jack looked up. Annie was trying to get close to the young mustang, but he kept darting away. Watch it, he's wild, said Jack. Annie was speaking softly to the colt. She slowly reached out and grabbed the end of his rope. Still talking to him, she led him toward the broad wooden post. Stop, don't do anything, said Jack. He flipped the pages of his book. He found a section called How to Treat a Horse. The basic rules on how to treat a horse are simple. A soft hand, a firm voice, a sunny attitude, praise, and a reward. I've got the rules, Jack shouted. Don't do anything before I write them down. Jack pulled out his notebook and pencil. He wrote horse rules. 1, soft hand. 2, firm voice. 3, sunny attitude. 4, praise. 5, reward. Okay, listen, Jack looked up, but Annie was already sitting on the colt's back. Jack froze. He held his breath. The mustang whinnied and pawed at the ground. He snorted and tossed his head. Annie kept patting his neck and talking softly. Finally, the young horse grew still. Annie smiled at Jack. I named him Sunset, she said. Jack let out his breath. Let's go, said Annie. We have to take him to his mom. Are you nuts, said Jack. We have to solve our riddle. It'll be dark soon, and those guys were real bad guys, I could tell. We don't have any choice, said Annie. Oh, brother. Jack knew she wouldn't change her mind. Let's see what the book says. He read more about mustangs. Wild mustangs live together in families. The bond between a mare and her young is very strong. His sounds of distress or hunger will always bring her to him. A mustang cannot bear to wander alone. Jack groaned. He looked at Sunset. The young mustang did have a sad look in his eyes. Okay, we'll make a plan, he said. But first I have to get out of these boots. Jack grabbed one of his boots and pulled. Hurry, said Annie. I can't even think in these things, said Jack. He huffed and puffed and pulled. Then a deep voice slapped him cold. Hands up, or I'll shoot. Jack let go of his boot. He raised his hands in the air. So did Annie. A cowboy rode out of an alley. His face was bony and tanned. He was riding a gray horse and pointing a 6-shooter. I reckon you're the smallest horse thieves I ever come across, he said. Chapter 5, Slim. Here's the picture. Goes along with it. We're not horse thieves, said Annie. Well then, what are you doing with my horse here, he said. Some bad guys came through town with his mother, said Annie. They left him behind because he was too slow. Yep, must be the rustlers that stole my last 5 mustangs, said the cowboy. Who are you, said Jack. I'm a mustang herder, the cowboy said. They rode through town. Then Sunset showed up all alone, said Annie. We're taking him to his mother. Sunset, the cowboy said. Yep, Annie smiled. I named him. The cowboy put away his 6-shooter. Well, you're pretty brave to try and rescue him, Smiley, he said. Thanks, said Annie. Jack cleared his throat. A mustang needs his family, he said. The bond between a mare and her young is very strong. The cowboy looked at Jack. Whoa, you're pretty smart to know that, Shorty. Shorty, said Jack. Every cowpoke's got to have a nickname, said the cowboy. What's yours, said Annie. Slim, said the cowboy. My name is Slim Cooley, and this is Dusty. He patted his horse. That fits, said Annie. Jack agreed. Slim was Slim, and Dusty was Dusty. So tell me, said Slim, how did you 2 brave, smart young'uns end up in Rattlesnake Flats? Jack caught his breath. He didn't know how to explain it. The stagecoach, said Annie. We begged the driver to let us off, but I think we made a mistake. Slim looked around. I'll say, he said. When's the next stagecoach come through? We're leaving, said Annie. I see, said Slim. Well, I'm going to take my colt now and find those rustlers. You didn't hear where they were headed, did you? They said they were going to camp over the rise, said Jack. Must be over yonder, said Slim. He looked at a low rise in the distance. The sun was a red ball above it. Better get going before dark, he said. Can we go with you? Said Annie. No, we have to stay here, said Jack. Now that Slim could help with Sunset, Jack wanted to look for the answer to the riddle. Plus, he still wanted to take off his boots. Shorty's right to be scared, Slim said to Annie. This is no job for young'uns. Scared? Said Jack. Oh, please, I want to go, said Annie. Slim looked at Jack. And what do you want, Shorty? For starters, he wanted Slim to stop calling him Shorty, and he wanted Slim to think he was brave. Sure, I want to go, said Jack. What about your stagecoach? Asked Slim. It's not coming until tomorrow, said Annie quickly. Well, Slim scratched his chin. I reckon I could use some brave, smart help. But you have to do everything I say. We will, said Annie. Can I ride Sunset? I wouldn't say yes to many kids, Smiley, but you seem to have a knack with horses, said Slim. Now hang on tight to his mane, and I'll just pull him along behind me. Slim slipped the rope off the post. Then he held out his hand to Jack. Put your foot in the stirrup, Shorty, and grab my hand, said Slim. Jack did as Slim said. Slim pulled him onto the front of his saddle. Jack held onto the saddle horn. Sit tight, said Slim. It's not far. Slim snapped his reins. Dusty took off with Sunset right behind him. Jack bounced up and down. His boots hurt. The sunlight blinded him. Giddy up, said Slim. Giddy up, said Annie. The horses galloped across the prairie, dust flying from their hooves. Achoo! Jack sneezed as he bounced along into the setting sun. That's the end of that chapter. Alright, friends. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for chapters 6 and 7.